am Matt and welcome back to Rybrook BMW in Shrewsbury and the 530e. Now the 530e is one of BMW's i-Performance range. One of a few cars which BMW currently do, which is a plug-in hybrid. Now these cars feature a 2-litre petrol engine in the front and a bank of batteries in the back. Now what I'm going to do, take you on a tour of the car, over some of the areas of the car, then we'll take it for a spin and I'll let you know what it's like. Let's get started with the front end. So, as a car, this is not like our BMW i brand, the i3 and the i8. This is a normal 5 Series with a hybrid powertrain. As you can see at the front end, it's got the signature BMW Corona rings, the signature kidney grille and other features. Moving round to the side of this car is very typical BMW with the swage line which goes through the 2 door handles. You've got your Hofmeister kink on the back, signature BMW. This particular model also has the upgraded M Sport alloys, and on the rear you have the eDrive designation. Now moving around to the rear of the car. The rear of the car is also typical BMW 5 Series with your LED L-shaped lights at the rear. Now you'd expect this car to have a very small boot because that's where the batteries are. Not the case. If I pop the boot for you now, you can see in the rear you still have plenty of room. You also get your charging cable which comes in this lovely little pack. So you've got a normal 3-pin plug at the end and the socket which goes into the front of the car, which I will show you momentarily. Now theoretically you never actually have to plug this car in, but it is advised to do so because as the car is plugged in, it runs diagnostics checks on all the batteries and keeps them in perfect condition. Now moving round to the passenger side, I will show you exactly where the charger is for the car. Now around the passenger side of this car is where you can plug it in. So just down here you've got the little flap which opens up and plugs in. Now as I said before, you don't actually need to plug this car in. Now we've had a quick look around the exterior of the car, let's jump inside and I'll take you over some of the features of the interior. Now the interior of this car is unbelievably finished. The quality and feel of everything is fantastic. You get the M Sport steering wheel which is extremely chunky and easy to use. The paddles behind are finished in a very nice silver finish. You get the digital display and you also get the 10.9-inch iDrive system which features the new ID6 system which is the best in class. You also get your full heated seats, your dual zone climate control. You can also have options such as gesture control. This car is also fitted with night vision, surround sound and the surround view cameras. Now this car's underpinnings are pretty much BMW 7 Series and everything in here is pretty much directly taken from the 7 Series. Hence why the unbelievable quality in here. Everything, all the leather, all of the wood is all up to the very highest of standards. Your drive select button is very different than it is in most BMWs. It's a slightly different shape and all your sport, comfort and Eco Pro buttons are all finished in a very nice gloss black. The parking sensors button is a lot bigger than it is in the previous 5 Series, but this one in particular has got the cameras and the eDrive button. Now the eDrive button in here we will explore a little bit more when we go for a drive. Speaking of which, let's do that now. 530e makes up one of BMW's sub-brand i-Performance models. Now, this sub-brand is not full i models. They are made up of the 2 Series Active Tourer Hybrid, the 5 Series Hybrid, the 7 Series, the X5, the 330e. Now, they are hybrids in essence, not full electric i models like the i3 and the i8. So what they do, they use a 2-litre petrol engine producing 184 horsepower and an electric motor producing 88 horsepower. Now that makes for a combined horsepower of 252 horsepower, which in this car propels it from 0 to 62 in 6.2 seconds, which is just as quick as the 530d 6-cylinder. Now, what's the car like to drive? So you've got a couple of driving modes in here, and you've got your regular Sport, Comfort and Eco Pro, and you've also got a little button that says eDrive. Now this can change between whether the car just uses electric power or if it saves its electric power. It also has an auto eDrive setting, which basically the car will use its sat-nav to determine when is the most efficient time to differ between the petrol and the electric motors. Now, to drive this car just feels like a completely normal 5 Series, which in this G30 range means it feels fantastic. It's unbelievably quiet inside. The engine and drivetrain is very, very responsive, no matter what mode you have it in. Now, obviously, you can change how the car drives using the settings. The Sport mode changes the dash in this new digital cluster. You've also got an 8-speed ZF box, which you can change gear using the paddles also. Now, when you're in Sport in this car, it does actually charge the batteries. So you are charging the batteries while you're driving around, having fun in it. Now, in terms of comfort, the suspension in this car is extremely supple, takes really big bumps and really big potholes with ease. You can easily cruise along in this car easily. Now, the combined MPG on this car is claimed as 149 mpg, which is an outrageous figure. The diesel version of this car will get up into the high 50s and low 60s, which still for a diesel is not bad at all. But this car is great for company car buyers with a very, very low benefit in kind. It only produces 46 grams per kilometre, which means it is extremely low in the tax banding. Now, in terms of outright speed, you've heard that it goes from 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. It doesn't feel rapid, if I'm honest, on the road because of the refinement in this car. That's not what this car is all about. It's not about outright straight line performance. It's more about comfort and efficiency, which this car does extremely well. Now, because it's built on the G30 platform, you can get all the bells and whistles on this car. Now, the underpinnings of this car are pretty much BMW 7 Series, which obviously is the flagship BMW. Inside here, it feels just as luxurious as the 7. Now, you can also get the hybrid 7 Series, which is called the 740e. Uses the same drivetrain and powertrain as this car. Would you really go for that? I think the 530e is a great compromise between the two. So it's just as luxurious, it's easy to drive, it's quiet, very, very quiet in here, and you can have all the options and things that you desire. Around town, this car runs on electric alone, which means it's very, very, very easy to drive, very silent, and very comfortable. If you wanted to whisk from the top end of the country to the bottom end, this car could do it very, very easily. Now, theoretically, you never need to actually plug this car into the mains. You can run this car without ever plugging it in. Although it is a plug-in hybrid, the car will charge itself, as mentioned before, on the petrol. Now, you can also get the big wheels on this car, the Harman Kardon sound system, which is absolutely brilliant, gesture control, and many, many more. This car comes as standard with the collision warning system on the front, so if the car is going to hit another car in front, it can slam its brakes on very, very quickly, and actually harder than you could do it yourself. Now, this car is very different to any other car that BMW makes, but it does feel just like an ordinary 5 Series in here. You could be in a 520D in here. It is unbelievably easy to drive. All the trim, all of the material is built to such a high standard. It is the best in class. Now, overall view of this car, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I'd like a big roaring V8, as would every petrol head. But if this is the way that hybrid power is going, which I imagine in the coming future, hybrid, electric, all of that is going to be the norm, I'm all for it, because you still get the performance with the petrol engine working in tandem with the electric motors for that extra torque, that extra boost. I'm all for it. So as a package, this car is the best of both worlds. Highly efficient, and it still has the performance and driving dynamics of a typical BMW. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Cheers. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and like our Facebook for more to come. Thanks, guys.